To discuss this further, I'm now joined by human rights activist Omoyele Sowore. Omoyele, thank you very much for giving us your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
How do the actions of the Nigerian police in detaining Ojukwu align with national and international human rights standards, particularly regarding treatment of journalists and media practitioners?
Well, this is a regression in Nigeria that people must take seriously, and that there was no basis for his arrest. There was a petition, according to the police, that someone felt offended by his reporting. What you do in that regard is you go to court if you feel like you've been libeled in a civil case. But in this case, the police was invited via a petition under what they refer to as the Cybercrime Act, the Cybercrimes Act of 2015, which has now been amended. So in the new amended Cybercrime Act of 2015, the crime for which he's been detained no longer exists. And I'm speaking to you as somebody who went out to see the police. We met with a lot of senior police officers when we went to the space of detention, those investigating him. And the Nigerian police is just acting on behalf of someone because they feel like he offended them. What I would say to you, which is important, is that Inspector General of Police, personally, Kayode Egbetokun, is the one holding him because he had his organization, the Foundation for Investigative Journalists, had linked the IG with someone who was described as a notorious smuggler in the southwestern part of Nigeria. That is his issue. They're just holding him to ransom on behalf of FIJ Nigeria. Nothing more. They asked us to provide shorties for him. We went and they went to his house, the house of the shorty, when he came back and said, no, you have to go and bring 2 directors from the federal civil service with landed properties in Nigeria. Just ridiculous bail conditions, as if he committed murder. Let me tell you, the former Minister of Aviation was accused of it, stealing billions. In court a few days ago, and his daughter, I think it was yesterday, in a few hours has been released. What did he do? He wrote a story about corruption, and nobody has proven that the story is false in the first place.
All right, you were at the protest. I saw a video of you, and I want to find out your thinking on the promise by the police that he will be released soon without specifying exactly when the young man will be let go.
Well, the police they play what I call mind games. I know the police very well. But what is honest about some of the dealings with the police is that some senior police officers have revealed that it is the IG holding him, and until he decides otherwise. We even sent a delegation today to meet with the DIG in charge of operations, one DIG Ede, and he told that delegation, 2 people delegation, that he's aware that the IG is one. Only the IG can determine the release of this guy. You are not supposed to arrest and detain somebody for more than 48 hours without charging the person to court or releasing them. But they have held this guy since last Friday, and it doesn't look like they're planning to release him. But let me say this, and I'm aware that if by Monday he's not released, there will be a nationwide protest. And that time we will not be calling for his release, but we call for the removal of this IG before the expiration of his tenure. It's useless.
Okay, what measures can be implemented to ensure the safety and security of journalists in Nigeria, particularly in light of increasing incidents of harassment, intimidation, and violence?
Well, this will go to the Union of Journalists in Nigeria. And I must tell you that I was disappointed that journalists did not come out en masse today to participate in the protest. Because it's not about just Daniel Ojukwu, it's about their job, it's about their calling, it's about their cause. Journalists should all have come out today in a light number. There shouldn't have been less than 1,000 journalists today in Abuja in front of the police headquarters to protest against what they're doing. They're violating his rights. But beyond that, I think the Nigerian Union of Journalists or whatever organizations are out there to protect, and the civil society groups should take it further to make it clear that journalists cannot be endangered in Nigeria. You can't afford to use certain, laws to suppress press freedom. Because if they are done with Daniel, one day they will come and arrest you for saying something they don't like while you're on air. And what is so sad about this is that President Tinubu, Ahmed Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is one of the largest media owners in Nigeria. He owns newspapers, TV stations, and radio stations. And this is the same regime that's suppressing press freedom. It's very sad.
This impunity doesn't seem, in quotes now, doesn't seem to be peculiar to this administration. But do you worry that there is a likelihood that it will grow if not stopped now?
It will, because this is not the first time this happening. There was a guy, Olatunji, I think about 2 weeks ago, who was abducted by the army, the director of intelligence services in the army, over a story he wrote. He almost got killed. And you're going to see a lot of these extrajudicial means of suppressing media freedom in Nigeria. If something is not done now by all of us, journalists and non-journalists, everybody in this society should pay attention to this and stop it now, nip it in the bud now. Because we have seen the police intervene in violating rights of journalists. We've seen the army do that. And, you're going to see a lot of non-state actors very soon going to media houses to look for individuals who have written stories that they're not happy with. Bloggers will start disappearing. If this is not stopped now, you have to stop this now. I know what I'm talking about. I know what it's all about. They're testing the microphone. And if there's no pushback, you're going to see, worse violation of rights of journalists in the country.
Well, we will, as a media organization, continue to speak on the injustice that is happening. And thank you for the work that you do and the contribution towards human rights.